Hello and welcome to I Am Geek, and this is episode 91.
91!
Yeah!
Chris is ready to go. I'm Ryan. Here's my brother Chris and our good pal Katrin. Chris is ready to go. He's in bed.
I'm already in bed.
He's already in bed. Recording in bed, which is a first, I guess.
We should have a show called Recording in Bed.
Recording in bed. You wouldn't want to hear the stuff I record in bed.
That's our new podcast right there.
Yeah.
Recording in bed. Just a lot of snoring.
It's going to be our spinoff show. Recording in bed. Katrin's in the state of Florida.
I am.
Woo.
I'm in Lakeland, Florida.
Lakeland, Florida.
Yeah.
We won't say exactly
My
where
old
he
hometown.
is, so people won't.
I'm at the Hyatt Regency in Lakeland, Florida, next to downtown.
Number?
201.
201.
Yeah, come on up.
When do you check out?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So
No.
Really doesn't matter.
unless somebody listens to this tonight when I upload it like at 2 in the morning, and then they'll be like, "Oh, Katrin's there," and they're like, rush
Son of
over,
a gun.
knock on the door. We're here to see you.
This hotel's going to be rushed with so many people wanting to stay in the exact same room that Chris Katrin stayed in.
Can we have room
asking for
201,
that number.
Probably. It's a good room. It's right beside the stairwell because the elevator does not work very well. So I use the stairs quite a bit.
Can you write like
they're really good.
IamGeekShow.com like on just random things in the room and leave it?
I can, maybe. There's some pieces of paper. Yeah.
People are going to ask for that room and be like, "You didn't change the sheets yet, did you?"
Oh, gross.
And they're just smelling.
Oh, man.
Oh, he was here.
Anyway, so Katrin's in Florida. Chris is in his bed. I'm still in my normal office. Messy office right now. It's turned into a storage room of sorts. Or junk room. I got to clean it out sometime. Anyways. So, a lot going on this week, I guess. I don't know. It's been busy. It was Valentine's Day week. That's why this is a little late. Because there was Valentine's Day and Katrin was in Florida. I was putting kids to bed. It's very romantic.
And I was eating Olive Garden.
Yeah. Free breadsticks.
Yeah, we get takeout Olive Garden. They're not free breadsticks. Well, you get like some free. If you want more, you have to pay for it.
We'll talk about this later in our new conspiracy corner. That probably won't happen every week, but it's happening this week. But do you think this will relate to that later? Do you think that the reason that they have free breadsticks, all you can eat, is that when people leave, they just take the breadsticks that's left over, take them to the back, warm them up, and then give them to the next person?
We don't leave any left over, so I don't know.
Not really anybody leaves them. I'll take them with you. That's when you go, I need a to-go thing, so I can just take the breadsticks. That's what you do.
It could be.
I don't know if there's any left over. Unless there's like little bits, and they just kind of like they push them together.
They wet them and then mush them together.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that. That's why
them.
there's always that like some of the breadsticks are a little shorter than others.
Yeah,
that's why.
No,
we'll get to that later, though. We'll teaser there.
Ooh, that is a teaser.
Oh my!
I guess we'll just go ahead and do some news, some geeky news. I don't know if this is really considered geeky news. More like, hey, I'm a teenage girl news. With the release of the new trailer for, because they would be teenagers now, right? When did Frozen come out? The first Frozen.
20 years ago.
No.
Back in 1967.
Anyways, the girls that would, that
yes,
were in love with Frozen.
Probably so.
Or
well, I mean,
boys.
they were already teenagers, right?
Really? Well, I mean,
she was getting married.
No. The people who really liked
watching Frozen.
People watching it. The little girls that would like sing the songs, and little boys, whatever. And
I mean, it depends on what they saw.
Yeah,
it's difficult.
It was all children.
Well, here's something on that though. You think about all the shows that we watched and like shows coming up and like Disney shows, they followed them as they grew up, and it's I always wondered about that. Is like, did like Hannah Montana, for instance, that it started with a certain demographic, and I guess they assumed they would carry that demographic on through the end of it. I guess that's the right word I'm trying to say, but they didn't gain any new viewers necessarily, young viewers, because the younger viewers that would have started at the beginning, maybe they're too young for the current generation of Hannah Montana when it was current. Sorry, it's a little deep, but.
But do you know that?
But anyways,
besides that,
Disney Channel shows, that they're only basically allowed to last a certain number of seasons. You know that?
Did not know that.
Oh no!
And one of the theories is because the kids grow up too fast, or certain. There's like an age limit. They're like, okay, here's when we're going to stop the show because then these kids, we have to phase these kids out because they're not quote unquote Disney kids anymore.
Sure.
So like Hannah Montana or something, like there could be a show that's really funny, going good, and the kids are loving it, but it gets to a certain point, no matter what it is, and they go, okay, this show's over, and they pull the show.
Makes sense.
So all those actors just basically lose a job because the kids in the show are too old. So the dads, the moms, the stuff of the show.
Especially if they look older. Because, there's some kids that are adults, rather, that don't look their age, right? And especially some of those actor kids. I've seen some kids in shows, and I'm like, I swear that kid was on a show 10 years ago and the same age. It's like they didn't age any.
Yeah.
And, they're able to play the younger roles. I mean, that happens.
On Gilmore Girls, like, Rory's best friend, like, from, like, high school or whatever, I think she was in her like late 20s or something when they were doing the show, and she was playing like a high school student.
Well, there's that new school show that's like the spinoff of the Goldbergs. This last episode, they had a boys' health class that they had to teach, and there was a boy that was in the class, and I was like, I swear I've seen that boy on something else like a long time ago, and he looked exactly the same. Like he had the same mole in the same place, same like age, like I'm like that kid. He must just be like, just one of those people that always looks like a kid or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Disney shows. I mean, that's like that could go in the conspiracy corner too. But that's sort of the theory or the thing that has been leaked out that basically these shows can only last for a certain amount of time because once the kids get a certain age, they pull the show.
Yes.
I don't know. Or they change the show. Like some shows, like you'll notice, they'll have a show like The Sweet Life. Remember that show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did that for a certain amount of time, and then what did it become? You probably don't know because you don't watch Disney.
So they went to the ocean or something.
Yeah, they go on a cruise ship, so the whole show changes.
Yeah.
And there's been several shows like that. Well, they just completely change the show after a certain number of seasons. Anyway, so Frozen 2's teaser trailer.
Saved by the Bell was kind of like that too, though, right?
Yeah.
They had the college years.
Yeah, they should have stopped.
I like the college years. I like that show. It's all right. Sorry.
No.
Back to Frozen.
It's okay. No, you can talk about Saved by the Bell.
Or Good Morning, Miss Bliss, whatever you want to.
Oh, well, now we're getting into real geeky.
That's what
Saved by the Bell
started out as was Good Morning, Miss Bliss. That was the first season.
That so that it always confused me though, going from that first kind of a few seasons of it, right, where it was Miss Bliss and all these, and then all of a sudden they go to this other school and it's all these different people, and I just it was just confusing.
I don't even remember that.
Reality. Yeah, it was like the first season. It was Good Morning, Miss Bliss.
I don't remember
and it was the actress was from the original Parent Trap, I believe. That actress played Miss Bliss.
I think so.
And they changed it up for like season 2, just Saved by the Bell, and they followed really kind of Zach Morris. and
Right.
Screech, I think, was still there. They added Slater.
Yeah.
Haley
Can't
Mills.
remember if they added Haley Mills. Yeah.
Dustin Diamond was there. Mark Paul Gosselaar was there.
And I can't remember. Did they live in a different city even? Like it seemed like when they started out, they were in somewhere in the Midwest maybe or something. And I could be totally wrong.
It could have been.
And then
it could have changed regions.
Yeah, then it was all of a sudden Bayside. So they're, obviously near the
wait. Were they in
water
middle
somewhere.
school then?
Yes.
Yeah, they were middle school, and then they go to high school.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. But it still was like, it seemed like a different city. I don't think it was called Bayside at that point. I don't know. Could be wrong. But it was confusing. I remember that. I was like, that's not right. How'd they get all the way to this school? But yeah, I mean, I guess that's part of it too, is they did change schools.
Oh, so they were in Indianapolis was where.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
They picked it up and moved it.
the same students and everything, which there weren't that many.
I think the principal guy was still the same.
Yeah, he was.
Belding. Yeah.
Yeah, Belding.
Did you all happen to see the reunion? Was it a reunion show that they did? And it was on a Jimmy Fallon or something when they
saw. I think it's been a while. I think but they had Belding on Jimmy Fallon.
Belding was huge.
I'm reading reviews of IMDb on the IMDb of Good Morning Miss Bliss. I'm just gonna read this. It's sort of funny.
Do it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Otherwise, you're just.
This
laughing.
is a review that's titled "Compared to Saved by the Bell." I watch Saved by the Bell every morning, and for a while I noticed that there was no Slater, Kelly, or Jesse, and that's just weird. Because Saved by the Bell always had those people, and this show called Saved by the Bell did not. I really didn't enjoy this version. There were 2 students who didn't even make it to the actual show, and that's lame. Anyway, it's 7 a.m., and I'm missing Saved by the Bell. The one where Kelly has to pick between Zach and Slater to take to the dance. It's a pretty old one. Slater just showed up at Bayside yesterday, so I have to go. What do you all think of the show as it's related to the actual show Saved by the Bell? The one that got super popular in the early 90s and that we all grew up on.
And apparently they still watch.
Somebody wrote that. It's pretty old. This post is from awesome. June 7th, 2005.
Oh.
But they're still watching.
Still was off the air for a while after.
That may be the greatest post I've ever read on IMDb, probably. Anyways, it's 7 a.m.
Anyways.
That's pretty funny. Oh, so Frozen 2 trailer. 3 guys, 2 in their 40s, one about to be, late 30s. We're going to talk about Frozen 2 trailer. So pull up a chair.
Mm-hmm.
Sit back.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
So, okay, first off, before we talk about this teaser trailer, this should be the trailer. This is what trailers should be. Because it doesn't tell you the story. It leaves you wondering. Mm-hmm. It sort of makes you want to see the movie. But it doesn't give anything away. They don't even talk in this, teaser trailer.
Yeah.
I want this to be the trailer. I don't want to see anything else. Not that I'm probably not going to go to the theater to see Frozen 2.
Oh.
If I'm being honest.
Oh.
Because I didn't even make it to see Ralph Breaks Internet or whatever it is. I didn't even make it to see that. Or Spider-Verse. So I'm definitely not going to go see Frozen 2. I'll see it at some point. But anyways,
yeah.
This reminded me of trailers that growing up that I would see. Where it intrigued you, it got you interested in the movie, but it didn't say, here's what's going to happen in the movie, and here's scenes from the whole movie. Okay, that's the movie. Which is, you got to admit, a lot of that, like Captain Marvel, I'm pretty sure I've seen the movie, because there's been like 16 different trailers for it. But there's controversy with that now, so I don't even know how that's going to do in the theater. I don't know if you've heard about that. We can talk about that later. Anyway, so I'm calling this the. This is my opinion. I'm calling this the Frozen DC universe or cinematic universe trailer because it was dark. This is like if Frozen took place in the DC universe.
Yeah,
Cinematic
it was
universe.
like it was so different. Like it was definitely unexpected. Like it was just I saw someone took like Avengers music and put it over top of this trailer, and it worked perfectly. It's
Oh,
like
totally. Yeah.
X-Men meets Frozen or something. It was it was pretty crazy. Uh, but I liked it. I liked the first Frozen. I enjoyed it.
Oh,
I thought
I
it was
didn't
good.
dislike it. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
I
it was
probably won't run. I probably won't be there running to the theater to see it.
I probably won't either. I just saw Ralph Breaks the Internet myself. I watched it on iTunes because I didn't get to the theaters to watch it, which was good. I liked Ralph Breaks the Internet. It was fun.
Yeah, I need to see it. But yeah, this one is. It looks a lot darker than the first one.
Mhm.
But it starts out with her at a beach by the ocean, and she's trying. When I say her, Elsa, she's trying to run across the water. She keeps getting.
Yeah, she's like
lashed back.
training. She's like training herself to be better at her ice powers. It seems like to me.
Yeah.
It's like a training.
I thought she
That's
might be
interesting.
stuck on an island somewhere and she's trying to escape. That's just my
Uh-huh.
opinion. Like something happens in the movie, she's trapped, and she keeps trying to escape. I don't know. That's my thought. But I could be wrong. I probably am wrong, but I thought that was a pretty cool scene.
Well, I'll tell you the whole movie. This is what happens.
Okay, go ahead.
Here we go.
And I do have a theory on the movie.
No, go ahead.
Because you see Elsa has her ice powers and everything. At one point, you see her, and I think it's her sister or whatever, trapped in like this ring of fire type thing.
It's like a
and another
purple,
point,
pinkish heart, isn't it? A fire.
yeah, it's like a fiery color with different colors. And at another point, you see like this person kind of being thrown around with some wind and stuff, and he pops out some leaves and everything. So you got the ice and the fire and the wind. I think they're in search of other people with
Avatar
powers. It's Avatar: The Last Airbender mixed with Frozen.
Frozen edition.
That's what it seems like to me, because there's a girl in there you haven't seen before, and I think she may have like the wind power or something, and you see them surrounded by fire, like they're being attacked by fire. So they're like meeting up with other people with powers, with other elements.
So this is going to be like the Disney animated version of Avengers.
Yes.
What's there going to be their name though?
What's it gonna be the name?
Yeah, what's
it gonna be the name? What's it gonna be?
Windy.
It's good.
No, the name of the group is not the Avengers.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
No.
And Ice. Earth, Wind, Fire, and Ice.
No.
Cool breeze.
It can't be the
Cool
Avengers. Breeze. It can't be the Revengers. But it has to end with Engers. So what other words are there?
It can't be the Offenders, because that's going to be another thing that Marvel is doing. I don't know if you heard that. There's going to be these animated shows on Hulu with Howard the Duck.
Oh, I saw that.
Yes.
Dazzler, MODOK, Tigress, and they're all going to join up for a series after all their individual series. It's going to be called The Offenders.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know what the name is. Tell us what you tell listeners.
The Suspenders.
The Suspenders. Ooh, yes.
They suspend disbelief.
So yeah, so it has them going through. Anna has longer hair now. Change up her look. You know. I guess Elsa has a different dress because somebody mentioned that, and I was like, oh, I didn't even notice.
You saw it. It was blue.
It was blue.
Same thing.
There's a lot more reindeer.
Is
Olaf in there? Yeah, he's like in a scene, so he's still around. He hasn't melted yet. But I think my favorite scene is the very, very end, where we have they're walking, and I guess something is coming up behind them, and Anna grabs Kristoff's sword and spins and turns to slice at something. I don't know.
Yeah, she like slices weird though. She like slices up. It's like a wave.
Well, she's got her own style. The fighting style. I don't know. Some people said that she swings where it's like the face of the sword, the blunt side of the sword, so she's not like cutting but like blocking or something. I don't know. Who knows? But it should be. I mean, I'm sure it'll be good. It's just weird seeing that trailer and then thinking of the first Frozen. We have all the songs and the singing and all that fun, all that stuff. And then this trailer looks like, oh gosh, this is dark. I'm guessing they'll still have songs. Hopefully not Let It Go again.
It's doom and gloom songs. It's all going to be very, very sad.
Gonna die, gonna die.
Speaking of songs that were popular in a movie that you wondered if it was going to be in the next one, is Lego Movie 2. Mm-hmm. I don't know did we talk about that
briefly?
But the song "Everything Is Awesome."
What song is that? Could you sing a little bit?
Everything is awesome. So they had Everything's Not Awesome in part of the movie. And then another part but then they had another song that's actually, I think people have heard. It's this song is going to be stuck in your head or whatever.
Yeah, this song's going to be stuck inside you. This song's going to be stuck inside you.
And it's funny, but yeah. Anyways, so an instance where they could have done the song over, but they knew better, and at least they did, but they made fun of it. So
yeah, I'm sure there'll be songs in this one. It'll be different songs.
Yeah. This will be grab a hold.
Don't let go.
Don't let it go.
What was your
grab a hold?
This is hey, 40-something-year-old. What was your favorite song in Frozen?
I liked the song that Anna has with the villain. Turns out to be a villain.
Yeah.
I like
Love
that
is an
song.
open door.
That's my favorite.
Love is an open.
Yes, Love is an open.
And
that's my favorite.
Each other's
sandwiches.
Yeah, I concur. I agree. I think that song is way better than Let It Go. I never liked Let It Go.
Yes,
if I'm being honest. This is a really weird episode.
But the reason why people like it is because what's her name? Eva. No, I don't remember. What is her name?
Elsa?
Well, no, I mean the lady that sang it.
Oh, the lady that sang it. Ask John Travolta because I don't remember.
I know, that's what I can. Anyway, she belts it out, right? That's her thing because she was in the original Wicked. Mm-hmm. And then there's a song in there, "Defying Gravity," that she belts out right now.
She was also in Enchanted. She played the girlfriend in Enchanted.
That's right. So I think that was just that whole thing of just like that belting out that everybody's just like, oh, it's because it's okay.
Yeah, I don't like
otherwise, it's kind of like Martina McBride was famous because of singing like that, where it's like these belted out songs,
Yeah, it was the whole thing behind it. It was like taking power for yourself.
Oh, it's stupid. Which, speaking of Wicked, sorry, real quick on Wicked, they're going to make a movie adaptation of it.
Oh, cool!
I saw that,
which is awesome.
Chris will love that. Chris loves musicals.
We'll see. I'm just not a musical fan. I like Greatest Showman, but my wife was watching Rent today. Like they did that one for TV, and I walked in the room. She's like, "You're gonna want to get out of here." And I was like, I saw it on TV, and I was like, "Yes."
I heard it wasn't that.
I'm leaving
I heard it wasn't
house.
that good. The TV version.
Well, I think every version of it's really not that good, but I don't.
I've
It's a
never
bunch of
seen it.
people
So
singing. It's a bunch of people sitting around singing, whining that they got to pay rent. I mean, it's just
no,
like
it's not.
Bunch of millennials.
yeah, it is. I've seen it. That's what. It's just a bunch of
What?
like people singing and complaining. That's all it is.
No.
It is
Well, I haven't seen
millennials
it.
complaining about things. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to watch this. Like, go get a job. Come on.
Go get a job. We probably offended a lot of people.
Probably get out of New
They
York.
need to.
It's
They
expensive.
need to be
Go
offended.
somewhere else.
Yeah, I've never seen Rent, so
Yeah.
I can't talk on
It's
that.
one of those things. It came out like when we were in high school, and like I was in drama in high school. Like every girl like would sing it constantly, and it just annoys you. It's just one of those things. I was just like, just stop.
549,600 minutes. Did I get that
I
right?
get it. You can count. Like,
I just
don't know.
I just made that up. I don't know if that's the right number or not.
I don't know. It's
Uh,
5,000.
They just did
I don't know.
that. Well, I was talking about Schooled earlier. That show they did Rent on that show as their musical production. It was funny because they had people trying out and they were like 100,000,600 million. And they're like, no. And they're like, the coach is in there or somebody's in there and he's like, we really need to talk to like the to the teachers here at school because these kids are not learning anything. I don't even know how many minutes are in it. It's pretty funny.
Nice.
Anyways, so you were talking about Frozen.
Yeah, I like Disney music. I like the Disney movies though. They've got music in them, but I don't consider them musicals. I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
And I liked the Olaf song from the original Frozen too.
In summer.
Yeah.
Speaking of musical, in high school, there's going to be a high school musical series.
Yep.
On
some station.
I guess on Disney.
Which I saw a picture of the cast, and one of the people in the cast is from another Disney show. So I'm just assuming, like what we talked about earlier, they're phasing that show out because she's gotten too old.
Yeah.
And they're going to put her in this new show. So.
Quite possible.
Anyways, so cool. Yeah, so that's gonna be a thing.
That's happening.
So
welcome to That's Happening.
Yeah, that's happening.
So that's
happening.
That's something else happening. The weird Disney episode where we talk about Disney TV shows and movies. Yeah, so they wrapped on episode 9 with a picture of 3 of the characters: Ray,
Drop a Golden Sun, Finn.
Ray, Finn, and I was trying to think of the other guy's name.
Yeah, Poe.
Poe. Yeah. Hugging, and there's sand behind them. So there's spoiler alert: there will be sand. Everybody was worried that there wasn't going to be, but there is going to be sand in episode 9.
It gets everywhere. So coarse.
Anakin would not like that there was going to be sand, but so.
And none of them are covered in blood, so they're all alive.
They're all alive.
Well, hold on, but you know this, Chris. They don't necessarily record everything in order, though, right?
That is true.
Oh.
So that could have been a scene that's at the beginning of the movie. We don't know.
So you've heard it here first. Everyone dies.
Because I thought that at first too. I was like, this proves that everybody's still alive, but it really doesn't. I mean, somebody could have died in that last shot, but
it doesn't.
But I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
So at least at some point, they all are alive.
In the movie, they're all alive
together.
Yeah.
And surrounded by sand.
And they're happy.
They're happy.
Or sad.
She's the one character in the Star Wars universe that loves sand. Yeah.
Gotta get back.
Every other character wants to get away from the sand planets.
But not her.
Not her.
Not her.
Well, she's looking for a family.
I watched Solo again last night.
Were you by yourself?
No, my wife
Solo?
actually. Yeah, no, my wife watched it with me.
Well, good.
And she loved it. She was like, "Oh, that was like one of my favorite Star Wars movies."
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, for her, like of the new ones, I think she said of the new ones, it was one of my favorite.
Okay.
I liked it a lot.
No, I liked it.
I liked it the first time I saw it. It's good.
But it's held up after seeing it 3 times.
Fell asleep during it the first time. But,
It wasn't because of the movie, though.
That was a long day.
It was a long day. But, yeah, so I think he got a bad rap. Poor thing.
Sure.
And then watching it all the way through again, at the end, you're like, man, I want to see what happens next. But now we know that's not going to happen.
Maybe they'll do a comic book.
Probably.
Oh, well.
Probably.
Oh, well. Anyways, so enough of this, us being whiny people.
Oh.
I wasn't whining.
That was just me. Just me whining. Being a little perturbed. Katrin did something yesterday for the first time in his life. Right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
He's now a man.
And we're going to talk about it, so we can definitely put Disney World in the title of this episode. Because those seem to do really well.
Oh, which, by the way, I don't know if you saw that the Tim Tracker episode is up to 996. It's going to
hit 1,000 here soon.
1,000 in no time. So that's thanks.
Yeah,
thanks again.
We're duping people into listening to our show.
Well,
listen to it. Get up to 1,000. Come on.
So, as you said, I went to Disney World.
Yeah, before you go to that, though.
Okay.
If you haven't checked out Tim and Jen Tracker's podcast, I've listened to 1.5. They have 2 episodes out. I'm midway through the 2nd episode. And it's pretty good. They do conspiracy stuff, and stuff like that, which I was surprised because they're like Disney vloggers. But for their podcast, the first episode was about aliens, whether they believe in aliens or not. And the 2nd episode's about ghosts. So I was like, oh, and it's fun because they not bicker, but they sort of bicker back and forth about stuff, and they're hilarious. And so you can check it out. Just Google or go on your podcast places, the Tim and Jen Tracker, or no, the Tim Tracker podcast is what it'll come up as.
Yeah, and they have their episodes on YouTube as well.
Yeah, if on YouTube, if you search for the Tim Tracker podcast, it'll come up.
They have a special background and everything for it.
They're fancy.
It's interesting. They are fancy.
Well, I'm laying in bed. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyways. So you went to Walt Disney World.
I did, and I wore my I Am Geek shirt because I was like, well, maybe, and to be a billboard, of course. But then I was like, I wonder if anybody will recognize the name because they listened to Tim Tracker and they accidentally listened to our show because they thought it was the show they were looking for.
Not if they listen to our show regularly.
But anyways, I thought that was funny.
Did anybody notice you?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I did. I did see someone from Johnson City. They had a Hilltoppers shirt on.
Oh
wow!
Yeah, I almost said hi, go Hilltoppers, but I didn't know.
Then they would have known you weren't from there because you would say go Toppers, not go Hilltoppers.
Go Toppers.
See, I didn't go there, so I didn't. That's why I didn't do it. I was like,
top hat and gloves.
That was our mascot.
Nice.
Top hat and gloves. Was there a cane?
Yes, there was a cane, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you went to Disney World.
I did. I'm here on business. I went by myself.
You went by yourself.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's a first. So I'm here on business, and I tried to get my family to go, but my wife has the level head in the family, so she said, we need to buy windows. We don't need to spend that much money.
Oh.
So my trip was paid for, except for going to the park. But I have some birthday money that I got, so I was able to buy a ticket and get a pretty decent day with with the time I had. So that was good. I was able to leave Lakeland at about 2:00 and get there by, after driving and then going through parking and riding the ferry, I think I got there at like 4 or something like that. I don't know if I left here at 2. I don't know. It was whatever. It's a long ordeal to, park and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But it was easy. I've always ridden Disney transportation, so I've always stayed at a hotel, except for one other time, a hotel on property, except for one other time when my wife and I went and we stayed at the Disney Springs area, and we took a bus, not a Disney bus, but a bus that dropped us off. And that was interesting because it didn't run as often. You always had to. But anyways, so I drove. Parking was simple. One thing I read, I was doing some research beforehand since I wasn't familiar with driving into Disney World, but they were saying how easy it is to get around. All the signs are really well placed and descriptive. And they're like, even if you can't even get around in your own town, you'll be able to get around in Disney World. Which I was like, okay, great.
It's really easy there because
it is.
I used to live in Lakeland, so I would drive there all the time, and it's basically there. It's like you're driving into like a city, like it's its own city there.
Yeah, it is.
Like I've gone to like Disneyland, and like Disneyland is like in a city. Like you're driving through a city to go to Disneyland. Like Disney World's like its own place. Like
yeah.
It's like, welcome to Disneyland. You just drive right in. It's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, parking was easy. Then I rode the ferry. I haven't ridden the ferry too much, so that was fun to do. And there was hardly anybody there at the transportation center because if you go to Magic Kingdom, you can't park at Magic Kingdom. You go to the travel and transportation center where you get on
transportation.
Son of a gun.
Or transportation and ticket center. One of those two.
Whatever. Anyways, you know what I mean. So you can ride the monorail or you can ride the boat. I chose the boat because I haven't done that. And again, there was hardly anybody on it. It was kind of funny because there was this one girl there. You could tell she like goes all the time. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna follow her and do what she does because. So she walked all the way to
stalk this girl.
You stalked a girl on the ferry.
Yeah, that's not what I meant. Yeah.
You're like, hey, I'm a single rider today. You want to be my plus one?
Oh, jeez.
Which they have a T-shirt for that now. Did you see it when you're there? They have a T-shirt that says "Single rider looking for my plus one."
No, I just meant where to stand on the boat because I knew this girl was on a mission. She's like, I'm going to walk exactly to this one point on the boat because I know where to get off of the boat. It's kind of like when you go into certain rides like Haunted Mansion, if you know to go where the umbrella is, the latest umbrella or whatever, then that's where the door opens to go to the next area. And so it's like I knew to go to this one part in the boat that I'd be able to get off first. That was the thing. That was the point of that.
Interesting tidbit there about the Haunted Mansion.
Yes. Yeah. There's two things that clue you in on which door to go to. There's actually 2 rooms you go through, right? There's the first room doesn't have any. It has one picture. Yeah. And then but you can see these red lights on the doors on the door that opens. Oh. It's like a sensor or whatever. And so you go through there, and then when you see all the stretching room, the pictures there's one with an umbrella, and right under that is the door that you go through. So if you just head straight towards that, you will go right there. And I didn't know that, but I learned it from the Grim Grinning Guys podcast. So shout out to the Grim Grinning Guys, Disney World trip planning podcast. But yeah, so I actually ended up writing that twice. So I used that trick twice.
So you'd never been on the ferry before, huh?
So I'd never been on the ferry. I've been on the ferry. I
thought you went on it with us.
We rode it. I did over to the resort.
Okay. So not the big. You hadn't ridden
Fort Wilderness.
Okay.
But I don't know if I've ever parked it. I probably did though at some point. It's not a big deal, but I was like, I'm going to try things I haven't done before. This is a huge deal. Yeah, I'm making too big of a deal of this part. It's really not that big. But anyways, So I get in, and the nice thing about taking or parking at the TTC is you go through security before you get on any transportation to get to Magic Kingdom. So you're already gone through security, and then once you get off the boat or the monorail, you just walk right in, right, and do your Magic Band and go through the door. Whereas if you come from a bus, you've got to go through a lot bigger crowd of people going through security, I feel like. So anyways, I started following that girl again. I was like, she's going to know which line to go through. So and she goes, she's a annual pass holder. So I all of a sudden realized that, nope, I can't follow her that way. So I had to go, and then I ended up being behind a bunch of people, but it really still wasn't that crazy busy at that point.
She lost you.
She lost me.
Did you find her later? Or?
No, I didn't look for her. No, that's all I needed her for. I let her go. But so I got through, and I'm at the Magic Kingdom, and the first thing I did was FaceTime my wife. I was like, I'm here, yay, and my son, and they got to see a little bit. I felt really weird doing that though, because it looks like I'm filming people, and then you could see her on the screen. If people were walking in, they could see her, and I'm just like, I don't like having conversations with other people around.
You didn't FaceTime us. I don't understand.
Well,
Awkward.
Did you introduce your wife to the girl you were following?
No, I did not.
Here's my new +1.
No. Y'all are. All right. Okay. So then it's like, okay, what do I do now? Because my whole life as a Disney park person going to Disney, my experience going to Disney is with other people. So first time I went with Ryan, and he's like, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And I'm like, okay, let's go do this. And we do this, right? And every other time it's been either with Ryan again and his family, or with my wife and kid, so we've always had plans in place, like, especially if it's me going, I've gone through I've planned the trip. I've gone through and planned, we're doing this ride, we're going this reservation, we're going to do this. And I've got this big long list, and I didn't have any of that. I had some fast passes, but I got there so early that I had 2 hours before my first fast pass. And so I didn't know what to do. So I just walked around. I went to where my first fast passes were, but I was like, well, I still can't really do anything because they don't start for a while. But I ended up going into the Tiki Room, the Enchanted Tiki Room, which I've never done.
What?
Really?
What?
Yeah. We were going to do it this last trip, and it just never happened when we went in October. So I was like, I'm going to do the Tiki Room.
What'd you think?
It was okay.
Oh.
The song is catchy, I guess.
And it's definitely it's a more nostalgic ride.
It is, and that's what I
like if you've gone to it, if you're younger and gone to it, it's one of those things you kind of grow up with, I think.
Rides that Walt designed or whatever, right? And and that's what I've always heard, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be great, and it was okay. I mean, it wasn't my favorite.
Oh.
So, but it was fine.
Did you at least get a Dole Whip while you were waiting?
He doesn't like Dole Whip.
I don't like Dole Whips.
Oh.
That's the problem. So you need to get a Dole Whip.
Oh, so that's the thing.
That probably would have made it better, because it was...
I'm fine that you didn't like Enchanted Tiki Room.
Yeah.
I'm not fine that you don't like Dole Whip.
I love pineapple, but for some reason I just don't. I mean, it's not my favorite. But it was stuffy in the Tiki Room. It was not. The weather was awesome. I've told you guys that it was the high was around 80. There was hardly any humidity. So it was perfect, And but going in there was no airflow in there. It was just kind of like, oh, this is not comfortable at all. But got in and out, and then I said, okay, what am I going to do now? And I said, "Oh, you know what? I didn't get my birthday button because my birthday was Wednesday." I walked all the way back over
birthday,
to
by
the
the way.
front.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you. I walked all the way back over to the front and got my birthday button. I first went to City Hall, and they're like, "You can wait in this line, or you can go over to the other thing over here, whatever it's called, and you can just pick your button and write your name on there, or whatever." And so I did that, and I didn't get anything free.
Oh, well, they know because they're like, wait, you were just here in October.
I didn't. So
They got
the things that
they got pictures of you, like, yeah.
I know, probably. But the thing is, the things that I got free were free desserts at reservation restaurants. What do we call it? What do you call those kind of restaurants? Like sit down restaurants. You know, I had one meal there, and it wasn't a place where they would give you free desserts. So, but I was at least hoping for a like a fast pass or something, you know, and never happened. But
yeah,
everybody said
that's
happy
that
birthday.
pulling the catering guy.
Yeah, did you hear like over their speakers like we got a catering,
Yeah, but I think I want to say our listener Andy ended up getting a free ride, or somebody did with having a birthday button. I thought, anyways,
I got a free fast pass for an I Am Geek T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. See, I had that on too, but I didn't talk to him.
The guy was like, "What's that?" Like, what's that? I'm like, I told him. He's like, "Oh, that's awesome. Here's some fast passes."
Nice.
So
none of that happened.
But something. What you say, Chris?
I don't think I ever got a free fast pass.
Well, you're just not going with the right people.
Was that year they let you in free for your birthday? They did that. I got to do that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that just at Disneyland, or was that Disney World as well?
I remember doing that.
Is it both? Okay.
So
something did happen though. That something funny did happen.
Yeah, I'm getting it's.
Oh, you're getting there. Okay.
So
let's make sure that gets in here.
It's got a list.
Sorry, I won't go through every single step. I'm sorry, but it's. But anyways, I got plenty of happy birthdays and plenty of smiles. So that was my free stuff, I guess, from Disney.
Sometimes you can get free ice cream bars if you go up and you're going to buy one. They're like, "Oh, here, have a happy birthday."
I bought an ice cream bar.
Oh.
I bought snacks for my wife and kid. None of it free, but whatever.
Because you were alone. Like,
yeah. Man, creeper.
I had a couple people.
He's been following that girl around. We should not give him anything.
So, but yeah, I had a couple people ask. It's like, "Oh, are you with your family?" I'm like, "No, just me." Like when I was checking out, I bought some stuff for my family, and they're like, "Oh, did you have a good day?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was pretty good." Are you with some other people? I'm like, "No, just me." And they were like, "Oh, that's pretty awesome." I was like, "Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't really know what to do, but
did you get because when I would used to go all by myself all the time. When I lived in Florida, because I just went to Disney. Before we had kids and stuff. When you went on a ride and they asked how many, you said one. Did you ever get the, oh, okay. Like I would get that all the time. Like like they felt like sorry for me. And I'm
felt like that. I rode Dumbo, and
that would be a sight to see.
Okay, now that's yeah.
And they were they give you the pager now to go wait in that little play area, right? And they're like, well, here you go. It says, and the girl, I don't know if I caught her off guard by just being one person on Dumbo, but she was like, it says like 5 minutes or something. I don't.
She's like, what
didn't know what to say.
What is this old man? Because she was probably younger. Going to sit in the playground area in Dumbo for.
I know. It's like, what? And I have a birthday, but she didn't say happy birthday. That was like, if it was me, I would be like, oh, happy birthday. Why don't you just go ahead and get in line there? It'll be okay. But no. So I go into this is later on in the night, but I go into the play area and stand. And then they come over the thing and says, attention, blah blah blah. The ride's broken down. Not in Disney speak. It's going to be an extended wait. I'm like, crap. So, and then I saw people go up and ask, and they said, oh, it's like 15 minutes. And I'm like, what am I going to do? You know? So I
They were just
waited.
trying to get you to leave.
Probably.
Out of here.
They're like, there's a creepy guy just standing over there. But no, they finally let us on, and it was all fine. It was fun. I slid around though. Speaking of that ride, because I'm the only person in that seat, I was like, I was trying to film while I was in the ride, and I was sliding to the outside, and I was like, I'm gonna fall out of this thing.
It's such a high impact, fast moving ride.
Oops, I guess maybe my pants were too slick. I don't know.
Well, you did wear those. You did wear those pleather pants at the park. Which probably wasn't a good idea.
Spandex pants. So
I'm expecting to go online and find video of someone recording you just by yourself on the Dumbo
It's gonna be
ride.
like that Darth Vader on Dumbo video. It's just gonna be Cater sitting there all still, just.
No, I enjoyed myself. I looked around. Whatever.
I'm glad.
So anyway,
yeah.
So now the funny story. Once again,
hold on. Okay, I'm ready.
No, I think we just had the funny story.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that you were alluding to earlier. So I got my button, and I'm walking, and I'm trying to figure out what to do next. I'm looking, and I said, okay, let me head over to Tomorrowland, right, and see if I can find something to do over there. And I'm looking at everything, and everything looks like it's like 50 minutes or more. I'm just like, I really, even though it's just me, I don't want to stand these lines. And I looked at Buzz on the thing, and it said like 60 minutes. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. But then I got up to Tomorrowland, and I saw the sign. It said 20 minutes or 30 minutes, something like that. I was like, oh, that's not too bad. I'll go do that. And I text you guys, and I said, I'm getting on Buzz now. I've never gone through this queue, I guess, because this doesn't look right. And soon after, I realized that this is not Buzz. Indeed, it was Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. So
you made it all the way inside the building?
Not inside. Well, yeah, in the building, right?
Before realizing that it was not Buzz Lightyear.
Well, I'm standing in the queue, and so there's not the giant Buzz. I know there's a giant Buzz outside, and it's like so obvious. But for some reason, I don't know why I thought it was, but I walked in. And I was like, this looks weird. And there's all this stuff about Monsters, Inc. I was like, I never noticed that before.
Like a combo ride.
So it didn't take too long. I mean, I realized it. I looked at the map and on my phone, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. So then I said, okay, well, I've never done this either. I've never done the Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
Might as well do it. You're in line for it.
And I might as well do it. It didn't seem too long, and it wasn't. There was a part where you get to this part and they said only 3 more minutes and you'll be in, and it took like 8 minutes for some reason. I don't know what the holdup was. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But so we get in, and I wasn't sure where to sit, but I'm kind of glad I didn't sit where I would be on the screen, because I didn't really want to be on the screen, especially by myself. That just didn't.
That would have made the story like 100 times better if you're on the screen by yourself.
Yeah. So very, very good show. If you've not seen the Monsters Laugh Floor,
this is funny because people usually say Tiki Room, it's the best. And Monsters Laugh Floor, that's horrible. Don't go to that. But for you, it's different. The classic is not good, but this one. But I like Monsters Laugh Floor. It's funny. Did you enter a joke before you went in?
I did the grass joke.
And, I do that one every time I go. I do that one.
Yeah. And in case anybody's listening that doesn't know the joke, what's green and has wheels?
What?
It's grass. I was just kidding about the wheels. So that's a joke from college years. But anyways, so there was one funny part that happened. Lots of funny parts, but there's this one particular funny part where they're talking to this kid, and they're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he says, Uber. And the character's like, what did you say? He's like, Uber. She's like, you want to be a car? And he's like, no, I want to drive a an Uber.
I bet those parents are proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh.
Well, we're saving on college.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's like high ambitions, But
Can you see that kid when he's 16? Dad, can I go? Can I get a car for my 60th birthday? Because I really want to start my job now.
Yeah.
Driving people around.
It was funny, and his name, the kid's name, and I'm not making fun of it, but except the Monsters Inc. person made fun of it. His name is Airy, and he was like, "Excuse me, Airy," like, and the Monsters Inc. character was like, "You mean airy? Like this room is really airy?" He's like, "Yeah."
Wait, really? No, like it's spelled like that?
Yes. Well, I don't know how it's spelled.
Because there's also the airy. Because when you said it, it made me think of the store in the mall. It's like in every mall. It's like a
AERY.
An underwear store or something.
Yeah.
I'm Airy, named after the underwear store.
Yeah. Well. So, anyways, that was funny. I laughed the whole time. It was a good time, and there was a kid beside me that his joke got read on the screen, and he was freaking out and having fun. So that was a good time. No, because that wouldn't be appropriate. My son would love the show though, especially if he could get on the screen. I figured out, I was like, okay, if you sit kind of in the middle where you're near the aisle, you're pretty likely to get on the screen if you want to be, where they're wanting volunteers for things, because that's where they can get the microphone to you easier. But anyways,
do they still do this guy thing?
Yeah. Yeah. They kept showing the guy over and over again. Yeah. And that's one thing I think about too, is like, it's probably not good multiple times, right? Because it's the same show. They're always going to have this funny
jokes,
thing.
But
Sure. Yeah. Some of the jokes are different, but some of the things are going to be the same. But some of the things I really laughed at hard were that it's not going to be funny the next time. Maybe it might be. And it's all about how the people in the crowd react too when they get on the camera. This one girl didn't. I don't know. It's almost like she didn't speak the language or something, because the character was like, "Put your fingers at your head and pretend they're antenna," and she's like, "What?" It's like, and it was like, "Come on, lady, what's your problem?" But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So by the time that ended, it was time for my first Fast Pass, which I realized that I changed the time on it apparently, because I thought I still had 30 minutes to go, and it was almost halfway through the Fast Pass time, which is fine. I mean, it's you have an hour, but I was still like, oh my gosh, I got to run. But it's fine. Which was Haunted Mansion. That was when I first did Haunted Mansion. I ended up doing it twice, because the second time was during the fireworks, and the wait was 4 minutes or something silly like that. I was like,
there you go.
So I was like, why not? I'll do it again. But so I did Haunted Mansion. Ate at Pecos Bill for dinner. Had a rice bowl.
At least with
really
Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
At least with Haunted Mansion, you had riders with you in the end.
I did have a hitchhiking ghost. Yes. So I tried to. So while I was on Haunted Mansion, my wife wanted me to FaceTime her while I was on a ride, and chose that ride, which was a terrible idea because she couldn't see anything.
It's like pitch black.
Yeah. But she could hear it. Yeah. But they were having fun. There was a few parts where you could see candles or something, like that. But it was funny. And that was the other reason why I wrote it twice, because I was like, I didn't really enjoy it the first time because I'm sitting there trying to hold this phone and talk to them. And so that was good. Then my second Fast Pass was Pirates. So I rode Pirates and sat in the back by myself. And I'm pretty sure the people in the front got wet, because there was one time that I've gotten wet on that ride, and it was because the people in the back stood up in the back. So the weight was all in the front. So I'm pretty sure.
You stood up in the back?
I didn't stand up. I was one person in the back. So the weight was very poorly distributed. So, and then I totally messed up the picture shot, because I was taking pictures of things right when they took the picture. So I missed that, but I didn't have a photo pass anyway, so it didn't matter. But the people in front of me also missed it, because they're sitting there on their phones trying to find another Fast Pass, and they're like, "Oh, we missed it."
Who does what? Okay, what? Who does that? You wait in line to go on a ride, and then you sit there and try to find another fast pass midway through the ride. That perturbs me.
Whatever.
Man, everything's perturbing me tonight.
Yeah, sorry. So did Pirates. It was time for dessert. So I got an ice cream bar. Didn't get a free ice cream bar. I was sad.
Sorry. I'll buy
but
you
I sat and ate it. I sat and ate it. People looked at me funny. I feel like I got a lot of weird looks.
Like how?
I don't know. I feel like they did. They might not have been, but I feel like everybody.
Head.
It's probably in my head.
I think if anyone was looking at you weird through this whole thing, it was while you were on Dumbo. I think every other time,
I think you were fine. Unless you were like eating the ice cream bar weird and it was like falling all over you and like.
No, wasn't doing that. But I felt like everybody was just like, "What a weirdo sitting there."
No, there's a lot of people that go to Disney by themselves.
But so then I have on here on my notes it says after the ice cream bar it says walking and shopping because what I ended up doing after that was I was trying to figure out what to do next. I was just like, what do I want to do? I don't know what to do. And I found myself walking in circles, like this big circle, not even really going anywhere. And I ended up trying to go into stores that I never go into. Like,
sorry, I can just see you in the hub there, in the middle with the statue, just walking in a circle around the hub.
No, it was like Adventureland, Frontierland. Fantasyland, and kind of going through this weird circle. And it's like, ooh, let me cut through here. And I was like, wait a second, I just went through here because there's like this. You
had like every security guard on like high alert the whole day.
I know. I kept thinking that. I was like, this guy.
Who is this guy?
Who is this guy? But I got to go into stores I don't normally go to, so I went into the is it Memento Mori?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun. They had these new little Haunted Mansion things. It's like a cube almost that you put on your desk, and it looks like the Doom buggy, and it has ghosts in it that when you push this button on the front, it says phrases from the ride.
That's cool.
I almost bought it. It was $20, but it's like a little thing that would just sit on your desk, and you push the button, and it would just say these phrases. And I was like, man, that's pretty cool. $20. They have a lot of cool stuff in there. So anyways, I walked and went through a few different stores, but and then the Dumbo experience, that was soon after that. I was like, I know what I need to do. I need to go to Fantasyland and then to the it's not Toontown, whatever that is, the fair, whatever they call it there. And, or that was, well, anyways. So I did that, the circus, thank you. And then I came back through to go to Big Thunder, and I was like, let me go. I was coming by Haunted Mansion on my route back, and I saw the short wait, so I went and did that. And the longest part is, of course, winding through the queue because they still have the queue set up for long lines. But and then Big Thunder, it was actually time for my Big Thunder Mountain Fast Pass, but I was like, well, I've got time. Let me go do this, and then I'll come do it. And as I was walking up to Big Thunder, it was the fireworks were ending, and all of a sudden, and I looked at the time, and it was showing like there were 10 minutes. A 10-minute wait time. I was like, man, that's pretty good. And as soon as I looked at it, it changed to 35 minutes in an instant. But I was like, well, I'll just do my Fast Pass. But I almost wish I'd skipped Haunted Mansion because I could have watched some of the fireworks on from Big Thunder, right? I could have, and that's pretty fun when you get to do that. Yeah. But it was still fun. The people in front of me were having a good time. The people behind me, and we were all just laughing the whole time. But
I could see it's like you're like trying to make like I'm part of your group. Like, that joke's so funny. Oh, that's hilarious.
I thought the same thing when you were talking about the pictures and the one ride. Oh yeah, you guys messed your pictures up too, huh? Looking at our phones.
The guy that's trying to make friends at Disney.
No, that happened during the ride. They're like, "Oh, we missed the picture," but no, there was. I felt so stupid afterwards. I was like, why did I do that? But the guy in front of me was a little bit taller, and there's like this one little bunny hill thing where there's the bones hanging down, and I was like, "Oh, don't let your in." He laughed, but I was like, what a dork. But he and then when at the end of it, it stops really hard. I was like, look out for the stop, and it boom, it stopped, and then it's like, oh, I was like, gosh, I'm that guy.
You're making friends. You're that guy at Disney. Just trying to make friends with families.
There was one funny part though when I was getting on
ride Dumbo.
So when I was getting on Big Thunder, there was this family that came in that would be on the next car, and I'm standing in the line waiting to get in the car, and there was a young girl that was going to be in the next car right behind me, and she says, I don't want to ride with that guy. Basically is what she was saying. And they're like, oh no, we're going to ride the next car. You don't have to ride with him. And I just kind of laughed. I was like, whatever. And I get in the car, and then she's not paying attention. She almost gets in the car with me on the next one. And she's like, oh, it was real funny. But I was like, yeah, I don't think you want to ride with me anyways. But she said, oh, I screamed the whole time. I was like, I do too. But
we're friends.
Yeah. It was,
screaming friends.
Man, I felt like such a dork though. But so anyways, everything went back up to long wait times. Before that Big Thunder ride, like I said, it was during the fireworks when I went to Haunted Mansion, and I was like, let me go look at the Seven Dwarfs and Peter Pan and see if those waits are down any. And they were both at like 50 minutes. Peter Pan didn't look like it was 50 minutes, but I was like, I don't want to risk it because I don't really have that much time. So yeah, I knew it goes back in there. So I was like, I don't want to risk it. And then, but I've heard people say that they'll post it, but they can't change it quick enough because, it ends up being shorter because I don't know, because of the fireworks, but I just didn't want to risk it. So I skipped that. For some reason I have the word carousel on here, and the Carousel Progress. I was going to ride the TTA, but it was closed. I was like, what the heck? Why is it closed? And ended up doing the last ride of the night for Carousel Progress, and that was fine. I needed to sit for a while. It was good. And then I went to get coffee after I had a brownie because I had a second dessert.
Usually I have a brownie after I drink coffee.
And no.
Dad joke.
So here's the problem with the coffee. Is I was like, let me go get my coffee. I went over to Revive instead of Starbucks because you can get the Joffrey's coffee and it's fine. I didn't want Starbucks, and got it right away. And I was like, I'm gonna go ride the TTA because it looks like it's rolling now. So I get it, and I'm getting ready to go in. They're like, oh, sir, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, you can't take that on this ride. I'm like, seriously? You're gonna have to finish it first. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So then I go over to Buzz, and I'm
hot.
I'm like, am I gonna? Yeah. I'm trying to drink it because I wanted to enjoy it. They brewed the coffee fresh for me because they were about to close down this little thing because this is almost closing time, and it was good coffee. But so then I go to Buzz. I'm like, well, let's just see if they let me in on Buzz, and no, they don't let you take coffee on Buzz either. So I gave up and drank my coffee and went to the castle and waited for the kiss goodnight and watched that all happen with the castle with the lighting, and that was fun. I got that on video.
So you watched random people kissing goodnight.
I did not do that. No.
Disney has changed since I've been there. I did.
No, for those who don't know, the kiss goodnight is basically the very end of the night. The park is pretty much closed.
Right when it's like, so it closed at 10 o'clock that night. So it happened like at 10:01, 10:02.
Yeah. Basically, a thing comes over, a guy talking. There used to be a guy. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah.
Basically telling you good night and everything, and then the lights change on the castle. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it's like this effect where the lights go down the castle, almost like it's turning it off.
Yeah.
In a way, but then it lights right back up.
Yeah.
So I've read that there's actually a second one after that. Like if you stay long enough, they're like, no, seriously, get out.
Yeah, seriously.
I didn't stay for that. So I headed for the exit and ended up taking the monorail because everybody was going to the ferry for some reason, and to the monorail. I mean, I waited probably through two monorails, but one thing I've learned on this, and I knew this going in, is I don't have to worry about waits because when you go with kids, it's like, oh God, I don't want to wait because this kid's gonna
Yeah, you could
crazy.
you could take the resort monorail and it'll drop you off at the transportation.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's usually shorter wait.
Yeah, that's a good point. So anyway, it was fine, and then I got up to my car. Luckily, I found my car pretty easily. That's why I texted you guys, by the way, of where I was, not just to be. I was like,
I thought you were just like, look at me, look where I parked, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. That was to help me remember. So I got to my car, and actually I pinned it on my Google map too, so I could find it easily. And but I got in, and it's a rental car, of course, and so it's a Kia Soul, which was a fun car to drive. But the weird thing about it is, you know how most cars, modern cars, when you turn the ignition, you just barely turn it and then it starts, right?
Uh-huh.
So on this car, it was like the old style, whatever, just 10 years ago. I had to hold the, you hold the key to start it. It's like, took longer than normal. Well, it decided to not start after the first or second or third time doing that. And I was like, okay, well, how do I do this again? So I let it, I stopped for a little bit because I was like, I'm going to flood it if I keep doing it, for too long. And I pumped the gas like twice, and then it started right up after that. I was like, that's weird, because you're not supposed to have to do that with fuel injection.
It didn't want to leave the parks. It was like, I must leave Disney.
I was like, is this a bad thing? Yes, it's bad because I can't do anything here fun. So.
Oh, sure you could. You've read Kingdom Keepers.
That's right. That's when the fun.
There's tons of stuff you could do.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, I parked all the way at the end of the row, right at the road. So it's like all I had to do is pull straight out of my slot and go onto the little road to go to the exit, of course. But but it was an easy ride because it's 10 o'clock at night and nobody's out. But and at the end of all this, I didn't mention I had to work yesterday, right? I had to work, do my job, and that lasted from 9 a.m. till about 1 o'clock, and after all of that and Disney, I had over 20,700 something steps, and which is 9.8 miles, which that's a lot of.
There you go.
A lot of walking.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a weird experience. I don't know if I'd do it again.
Oh, really?
By myself. I mean, it was okay. I didn't know what to do because I'm used to having people tell me which it's funny though, because I do a lot of the planning for my family. At least I go and say, here's what we're going to do. But it's like my wife is the navigator. She says, okay, we need to cut through here and go, or we need to go do this. Or this makes more sense, So it was just weird. And I felt weird walking around by myself because it's like I want to enjoy the park with somebody.
Yeah. Well, if you ever feel weird, all you have to do is take your phone out and hold it up in the air, and people will just think you're a vlogger, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's just a vlogger."
I saw so many people with these like contraptions for their cell phones to like hold it in front of their face and talk. I was like, "Come on!" But I told my wife today. I said I think if I do it again, if I ever did that again, I might go to Epcot. Because that's something I never get to do is go through all the countries, or at least most of them, and really enjoy that. Because with a kid, it's just almost impossible when a kid doesn't appreciate it.
Yeah, that is a good park to go by yourself, where you could just take it all in and not have to worry about stuff. I like going with my family, of course, but I really enjoy going by myself because I could just do what I want to do and not have to worry about anything.
And it was pretty crowded. Like I told you guys, it wasn't too crowded, and I have seen it worse, but I was going kind of crazy with some of these people because they would be standing still and I'm getting ready to walk past them, and all of a sudden they decide to move right when I'm walking past them and just walk right in front of me. And then there's people that would just stop in the middle, and this happens every trip. It's not just this trip, but I was dodging in and out of people so much, and it was just like, oh my gosh.
You probably handled it better than me, though. Usually when that happens to me, I make a noise, or at least I go, oh, come on, or something like.
Well, that's
people walking.
It was really laid back for me because I didn't have any pressure to be anywhere, but at the same time, it's like I wanted to get somewhere fast and sometimes the crowds, especially in the stores, like I was trying to use the trick of going through on Main Street to go through the stores, but I think everybody was in the stores and not on Main Street because it was ridiculous in there. And people just standing in these areas with their families. I'm like, why are you even in here? You're not even shopping. Get out.
But, stupid family.
Yeah, we're going in a few weeks, and it'll be a first for me because we'll exclusively be using Disney transportation.
There you go.
From the airport at the parks. My wife won't be there 2 days, so it'll be just me and a 4-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. So it's going to be an experience for me too, but a different experience than what you had.
Yeah. I would suggest, and I think I said this last time, that you at least splurge a couple times and take Uber, an Uber family or XL, whatever they call it, because there's going to be a couple times where the bus lines are going to be ridiculous, and it'll be nice just to get in a car and go, especially if you have reservations. But I know you guys don't do that as much.
Yeah, for this trip, I don't think we'll do many reservations just because of knowing how crazy it's going to be. I think he'll just be like, "Oh, we want to eat. Okay, here's some food right here. Let's eat this."
Yeah.
Instead of trying.
We found this on the side of the road. Eat that.
And then the other nice thing is if you have which you all have the double stroller, right? You still have. Is getting that thing on the bus. I feel bad when I do it. That like have to because the last 2 times we've gotten the big jogger stroller and this freaking wheels are huge, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm always in the way, but I've been lucky. This last trip, I was really lucky because I always was able to get in the one of the doorways where you're not really supposed to stand, but they let you.
Yeah.
And so I could stake out a spot there, and I wouldn't be in anybody's way. So it worked out really well. But the previous time, I felt like I was bumping into everybody with it. So.
Well, I'm hoping that the days that my wife's gone, people will take pity on me and be like, "Oh, look at this dad." Such a good dad taking his 2 kids to Disney World all by himself.
Yeah,
maybe I'll have a button that says like something alone with the kids for the day.
Yeah,
please help or something.
Celebrating.
You just go, yeah, I really miss my wife. Oh, when did she pass? Oh. Oh no, she's still around. She just left me.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Divorce? No,
for the day.
Just for the day. You poor thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
To say the least.
Can you get that person that used to babysit for you guys? Can you get her to come up and?
I texted her and no response, so I don't know what's happened to her. She sort of fell off the face of the earth, but our listeners don't care about that. But yeah, so look forward to that report from me if I survive.
Can I give one more story? Has nothing to do with Disney.
Yeah.
So I played bingo tonight.
Bingo!
Oh.
Yeah.
Bingo! Shake it up, Betty.
This was legit bingo.
This was legit bingo. Many of you played bingo like in school or with friends, and it's like these little chips. You put it on this little card, and you play these straight things or whatever. And this was wild, but it was actually easier than I thought it was going to be. So they give you you bought a booklet of cards basically, and you play a sheet at a time. So we had this sheet of 6 cards, and they said, okay, here's the pattern we're going to use. And we had this sheet that showed us all these different patterns. Like the standard bingo is 5 in a row, right? B-I-N-G, right? 5 in a row, diagonal or up and down or left or right, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's all these variations. Like there's one that they call the cross. That's you go all the way across the second row and then down the middle. So if you get those, then you say bingo, right? Then there's there's one that was an arrow that pointed up to the left. So it was like 3 down and 3 across and then diagonal through the middle. Then there was another one we did was a empty wine glass. It was like a Y with a big serif at the bottom, right? The bottom. So it was really interesting. But the hard part is you got all these cards, so you're having to go through and say G60. Well, that's not the right number. Whatever.
G62. What? Huh? Is it on the back?
Well, no, because there are only certain numbers on each column, right?
Oh, gotcha.
So that would have been G48, okay, for instance. So you had to look down the row of, and the nice thing is your cards are all lined up on this sheet, so you can say, okay, is there a 48 in any of these or any of these? So you just kind of got used to going through. So what you would do, you mark your card with the design that you're doing, and so with a pen, so that you knew you only needed to mark the ones that you had on that design. You didn't need to mark everything on there because it would throw you off if you tried to do it. So anyways, it was 8 rounds plus 2 jackpot rounds. And so we started at probably 6:15 and it finished at about 7:45. And I ended up winning a round.
Ooh.
So everybody paid $10 for the booklet plus a jackpot card, and you could pay for extras, I guess. But so my parents paid for it, which is awesome. But so the round that I won, I was the only winner on my round.
Hey, there you go.
And this place was pretty full. Like, it was pretty big. So they take the money that people pay and split it up into these. So the jackpots were $175, and each round was $82.50. Is what it ended up being. So most of the rounds, there ended up being multiple winners, right? Especially when it was like regular bingo, and because they would switch it up. They're like, okay, this time it's just regular bingo, and then it had the designs, and I won one of the designs. It was like a T on its side or something, I think, and I had one left, and then sure enough, he called it, and I was like, bingo! I was the only one that called it, and it was a good feeling because every other one, except for one of the jackpots and maybe one other round, every other round it was shared. Like, there was one that each person won $9 out of the $82. I'm like, man, that stinks.
That's awesome.
But so yeah,
did they have any like phrases or anything like that? Like, when the numbers weren't coming up right, did they ask you, like, if you're not liking what's going on, say this or anything like that? Did they do anything like that?
No. And so I guess let me preface this a little bit. So and it was a lot of fun. My parents are camping. They are retired, and they are work campers, and they are full time, so they don't have a house. They camp all the time. And this is in Webster, Florida. Or near Webster, Florida. Anyways, so it's almost like a retirement facility, this place they're at, because all of the people that are staying at this campground pay a lot of money to stay at this. It's pretty nice for what it is, but they're all retired. So they were all really fun people. They, a lot of them are there for this long duration, so everybody knows each other and can joke around and all that. But there was this one lady sitting beside me that it was actually her husband was calling the numbers off, but every time she would do the little paint dabber thing onto the thing, she would hit it really hard on the card. And we would all just like start laughing at our table because it was just like, what are you doing? Are you killing flies over there? And then we'd all start doing it or start banging on the table. But she was marking everything on her card, whether or not it was in the design that we were doing. And it was like, you don't have to mark everything. But we did tell her. But
funny.
Now, it was really fun.
The reason I asked that is because, like, I've played where I've played bingo is on the cruise ship, the Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah.
And their bingo machine, they call it Betty. And if Betty's not giving you the numbers that you're wanting, you're supposed to shout out, "Shake it up, Betty."
Shake it up, Betty. No, we didn't have any
of
that. No. We didn't have any of that. I mean, we would
Shake
say
it up,
something.
Betty.
When I won, there were a lot of people that were kind of mad. I mean, I don't think they were legitimately mad, but they're like, "You need to get out of here." I was like,
Who's this guy?
I guess.
You're too young to be in here. Get out of here. So you won $80 bucks?
$82.50.
What are you gonna do with that?
Nice.
Spending money.
Yeah, I don't know.
Going back to Disney?
The
Don't
people
tell your
at
family.
some of the people that were there were like, "Oh, are you buying tonight?" Like they were all expecting to go. Well, I don't think they were actually going to go, but they were like, "Let's go to this bar afterwards." You know, like, no, I'm not buying. It's my money.
You should have said. You should have got it. Said, "I'm going to Disney World."
I'm going. No, you're not. With $80, it's almost enough. But this one lady said, "You need to put it in your son's college fund." Like, no, it's my money.
No.
You should have said, "No, seriously, he's going to be an Uber driver. He's not going to college."
Yeah. And this one older lady was wanting to hook me up with her granddaughter.
Oh.
I saw her asking my mom. She said, "Is he married or anything?"
I've got this lovely granddaughter. She likes to go to Disney by herself. She was there. She was there yesterday.
It was very flattering, but I was like, "I'm married."
It's just because you won the big money. It's because
it was before I won the money.
$82.
It was before I won the money. I got a good laugh out of that. I was like, "Wow, that's never happened."
Oh man,
that was fun.
Funny. Well, I mean, we've talked a while tonight.
I told you I could talk for an hour and a half if you need me.
Well, we did. An hour and a half.
Still have more to tell, but you know.
Oh, well, keep going.
No,
I'll edit it down. What else you got? You want to tell us about the shampoos in your room, or?
Oh, they're great.
We didn't even get to the watch your streaming segment of the episode.
Yeah.
We can do that real fast.
We can do that real quick.
Yeah. And I guess we'll save the conspiracy corner until next time.
Oh,
which is a conspiracy in itself. They said it was going to be later on in the episode. It never happened. Who shut him down? What's going on?
What's going on?
Is it the Men in Black, the FBI, the CIA? No, we just ran out.
Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
Oh, you just gave it away. That's what the conspiracy is. It's about Chuck E. Cheese pizza. We'll have to do it a later date.
Yes.
This is an ASMR part of the episode. Anyways. Anyways, so what you streaming?
Well, I started streaming something.
Great.
No, like what are you watching? Not anything about going.
Yeah, what you watching?
What you streaming?
What you streaming?
I mean, my stream is. I mean, it's straight. It's good.
Gosh. So much editing in this episode.
I've been streaming The Umbrella Academy.
Oh,
I've only watched the first episode.
Oh, I want to start that so bad.
Yeah, I've only watched the first episode, but it was good. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It's a kind of like a superhero tale, but with like a mystery to it.
Ooh, mystery.
Yeah, it's quirky. It's fun. I like the first episode. I'm looking forward to watching more of it.
I want to watch it. Yeah, I saw those.
That's what I'm watching streaming.
When we watched Solo, I saw that it popped up. I was like, oh, I got to start that sometime. Is it probably one I watch by myself? Like, I don't know if will my wife like it. Maybe.
Umbrella Academy. You can give the first episode a try, and if she doesn't want to watch more, and just watch the rest without her.
Yeah. That's the way most shows go in my house. We were trying to think of something to watch last night. She goes, I guess we could watch A Walking Dead. I'm like, no.
We don't.
We watch. We
don't ruin this night.
Yeah, we watch Solo instead. So, Katrin, you've been streaming anything lately?
Yeah. So for my trip, I tried to find something that I could download to my phone so I could watch on the plane because it's like an hour and a half, 2 hour flight. All right. So I downloaded a bunch of episodes of Electric Dreams on Amazon Prime. And it's a a 10-episode sci-fi anthology series that journeys into unique worlds beyond imagination. It's these short stories, and it has all these like famous actors in it: Bryan Cranston, Steve Buscemi, Greg Kinnear, and Anna Paquin, and a bunch of other people. And I was like, man, this is going to be great. It was okay. I didn't watch all of it yet. I've watched two or three episodes, and the first one, I actually liked the premise pretty good. It was kind of like your mind's blown afterwards, right? But the execution of it wasn't great, and Anna Paquin wasn't great in it.
Is it like Blade Runner type stuff? It's like Electric Dreams, like in the name of the book that was based off of, like
I think
Electric Sheep Dream or something like that.
So the Electric Sheep Dream of? I don't know.
Yeah, something like
that. The first episode, I don't want to give it away. It's like I say, the first one's kind of like blow your mind, kind of weird, and then the second one's just a good sci-fi thing. But it's still, the acting's just not great, but I don't know. I guess I had really high hopes for it. Like, I just found that show that nobody's talking about. It's gonna be awesome, but no. And I just now looked at the reviews. And I'm like, oh, these are really poor reviews. But
that's why nobody's talking about it.
Yeah. So, anyways, but somebody compared it to like Black Mirror. I haven't watched Black Mirror, but it's just still that kind of weird.
Yeah, you have. Well, you've watched one of Black Mirror.
I've watched
Bandersnatch. I hope everybody enjoyed our Bandersnatch episode that we did. It was really fun.
Yeah, way back then.
Conspiracy.
If you didn't hear it, let us know. Or check it out.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. We didn't talk about
I want people to think we did.
Okay. So Ryan, what's
looking for
streaming?
Well, I haven't been. I guess does YouTube count as streaming?
Yeah, that is the definition.
That would be the
streaming,
definition of streaming. Yeah.
Watching something on the internet.
Yeah. So I've been, because of the kids and everything, I haven't got to watch many shows or anything like that. But I have been watching a lot of YouTube because they're short and I can watch it while I'm on the toilet. Which is or late at night.
Streaming.
Yep, that's streaming. I've been watching a lot of. It's called, if you search Dope or Nope. It's by High Five Studios. Matthias is the head guy's name. But basically, they take like all these random products. Like they'll do an episode that's like random stuff from Amazon or random eBay things, or we bought a box of returns from Amazon, and then they go through and see what they. And so it's like all these different weird products, and they rate them dope or nope. And then it's pretty funny. It's funny though. It's like, it's not like some unboxings where it's like, and then you have this product here, and this is what this does. No, they like make fun of this stuff. It's really funny, but it's called Dope or Nope. You should check that out. They also have so High Five Studios has a lot of different channels. This guy Matthias has sort of built a YouTube empire. They also have one called Battle Universe. Katrin, you'd probably like it. You and your son. And all it is them doing different kinds of Nerf battles. So they have like a warehouse as part of their studios, and they set up like they'll do like they did a series of Fortnite like type games with Nerf, and they did like once, like the latest one was like they hide money all over the warehouse thing, and they got to get the money to buy parts for their Nerf gun to build like this Nerf gun. And then, but then they can buy like rewards or punishments for the other team or for themselves with the money. It's pretty cool. So it's like fun if you like watching Nerf stuff. So the Battle Universe of Dope and Nope. That's what I've been streaming, which is pretty funny. All their content is funny, and the reason I like it's all clean. Basically, he's a Christian, and like most of the people there are Christian, so they keep everything family friendly, clean, and all that stuff. So there you go. That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
I'm sure you guys are excited.
Nice.
Go watch Dope or Nope or Battle Universe.
Super excited.
Dope or Nope.
They're gonna go watch it right now. But anyways, and then tomorrow I'll be streaming live the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. It's not pay-per-view, but
Ooh.
for WWE, which is here in Houston, but my wife's out of town, so I can't go to it. I can't like, hey kid, you want to go to the wrestling?
Wrestling?
I did stream something else. This is not family friendly, so kids should not watch this. Netflix does a lot of stand-up comedians, like they'll do their own Netflix thing. And Ken Jeong from The Hangover
I knew you were going to say that.
had one. It's really funny. It's really funny, and he just talks about his life experiences and the movies he's been in and everything. And he hosted WWE or whatever one time with John Cena. Like he was on there with him.
Oh, probably.
And at one point, apparently, John Cena picked him up and threw him out of the ring. And somebody was supposed to catch him outside of the ring, and they did not.
It happens.
And he like hit the pavement. His head hit something like a table or something. He was like, it was so bad. Like I had to call my wife directly after to tell her that I was okay. He's like, basically to sum it up, John Cena's like a jerk.
He's funny. I saw him. That's another thing I streamed this week. Hot Ones. It's basically it's an interview type show on YouTube where they have to sit and eat hot wings. But he was on that, and he was hilarious because he's just funny. And like every time he'd eat a wing, like he's very over dramatic, and he would like be like, "Oh, my mouth's all." He took a whole pitcher of water, like just dumped it in his mouth and stuff.
Nice.
I guess his wife was there with him, and every few minutes you look over at her and be like, I just want you to know I love you. I love you if I don't make it. But he's hilarious. So. All right. Well, the last thing is next week is the big day. The Geekies will arrive next week. So if you haven't voted, we don't have a web address to give them, right?
No, it's a long address because it's a Google Doc. But you can find it on like our Twitter and our Facebook.
Is it on our website?
Instagram.
It is on imgeekshow.com.
imgeekshow.com.
So you can go to imgeekshow.com or at imgeekshow at Twitter, and then imgroup or imgeek on Facebook. And then you can click on this link and you can vote on your favorite movies, TV, stuff that we like, geeky stuff. And it'll be out in time for the Oscars. Mm-hmm. So you can listen to us instead of watching the Oscars. I mean, the Oscars don't even have a host this year. And we have 3 hosts. Yeah. So
exactly.
There we go.
3 times.
3 times better.
The hosts.
We may have special guests. I don't know. We'll see. I've already got somebody that said that they would do something for us, but I won't drop any names, Matthew McConaughey, but you know.
Matthew.
All right. How we doing?
Anyways, all right. So I guess unless you guys have something else, you good?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this has been.
I could go on.
Oh well. If you want to, I'll turn this into 2 episodes.
No, kidding.
Anyways, so thanks for joining us. Can't wait to hear what you or see what you vote on for the Geekies. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, check us out on Twitter, Facebook, all the social media things at I Am Geek Show. And we will talk at you next time. This has been I Am Geek episode 91.